Hot honey?
Hot
I gotta
honey.
I gotta drink hot honey.
You gotta drink hot honey. Cures
How
corona.
how hot?
Very.
Boiling? Can you
Uh,
boil honey?
it'd be very viscous probably, but yeah.
Viscous. What a lovely word.
Very lovely, in
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah, that's good. I can
How viscous are you?
extremely.
How extremely?
I mean, I'm like solid, so like as
You are
viscous as
solid.
possible. Maybe
But you're
I'm
not all quite there.
not quite. A little
Not quite.
squishy. A little squishy.
A little squishy.
Hmm.
Well, we should do some vocal exercises.
Vocal
Do you
warm
have any for me?
Just say butter my biscuits.
Butter my biscuits. Butter
Butter.
my
You gotta like
biscuits.
get into it, like butter my biscuits.
Butter my biscuits.
No, you gotta like from the diaphragm. Butter my biscuits. Good
Butter
vocal.
my biscuits.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, that's good. We're good.
We're good. We're good.
Hey, we're golden.
Um,
Okay,
we're golden.
so well, episode 2. We made it this far.
Barely.
We're gonna talk barely. I'm barely holding on as it is, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So today, what are we talking about, Yash? What are we getting into?
We're talking about the funny clown. Funny clown. We're talking about societies.
Society.
Our perfect
We live in
world.
one.
We do live in a society.
But it could be better.
Could be better.
And we both have ideas about what a better world would be. Like what we
Now,
want to see.
are you gonna go on live TV and talk about these ideas?
If I was invited onto live TV, if I was invited onto oprahshow.com,
Not Ellen?
I mean, I don't know. Does Oprah still make a show? I don't think she needs to. She has a lot of money.
I've never actually watched Oprah. I know
That's kind of strange, eh?
I don't like the the car thing. You get a car. I was gonna say we bought a zoo, and I realized that's not the right thing.
No, that's way off.
Featuring Matthew Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Calls him Matthew.
I do.
Matthew Damon. What is your lover?
As a matter of fact, you can't disprove that Matthew Damon is in fact my gay lover.
No, I guess
I am straight, but if
Can't
Matthew Damon would ask me to be his gay lover, I don't know how intimate I'd be, but I'd do it for the name,
do it
for the prestige.
Do it for the clout.
I'd do it for the clout.
Your heart.
Would you?
No.
I feel like you'd make a great boy toy to a celebrity.
Well,
That's the type of society you'd live in.
Okay,
maybe like Timothée Chalamet's boy toy.
He's like small.
He's older than you.
So?
Objectively better looking. He doesn't rely on me to give you the ugly friend effect.
No, I could take him. I could take him. He's small.
Have you looked at yourself?
Every day.
Oh.
I'm huge.
Well, that's factually incorrect. You're not huge. Tall. You're like a spider. At first, like, people are scared of how you look, and then they realize just one book could take you out.
One good book.
One good book. One good hit.
One good hit, yeah.
To your sternum.
Stop my heart.
They rip off your legs, your arms.
What do you do to spiders, Yash?
I do nothing.
That's
like what I've heard through the spider's web.
What I'm hearing is you've done some terrible things to some innocent creatures.
Well, you've done terrible things to a lot of creatures.
Well,
not all insects.
Not innocent ones. So.
Not innocent ones.
I'll leave it
from your perspective.
I'll leave it at that. No,
okay.
That's the only perspective I value. Okay. So I prepared a couple of perfect worlds. A couple worlds that I would like to see happen. Well, that I think are better than this one, to say the least. So I know you've prepared a couple as well.
I have, and after we
ideas over the years.
After we introduce these worlds, or these societies, one might say, we'll be phoning a few guests.
Or phone a friend.
Phone a friend, like we bought a zoo, the millionaire.
We bought a zoo again.
I don't know what's with me and We Bought a Zoo today. I think I kind of want to watch it.
You should watch this after, yeah.
Yeah.
Starring Damon.
Matthew Damon.
Matthew Damon. Yeah.
But we'll be calling a couple friends.
Calling a couple of guys. Girls.
Some fans,
Fans, yeah. Fans of the show. We got a big following now. We're pretty big.
9 likes.
9 likes.
Coming to Spotify soon.
Yeah, we need to work on that.
Yeah,
Is that a
that's
thing we
gotta
can do?
happen.
Can we do that? Should we get
Uh,
sponsors?
apparently we need an RSS value.
I think
Well,
Dollar Shave Club will just anyone they'll sponsor.
but what about like those like anime mobile games? I mean, would you
Oh,
choose?
I
You know what I'm
mean,
talking about?
I'll sell out for anything.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends. Shop Titans now.
If you're hearing this message, Raid Shadow Legends,
Raid
please
Shadow
sponsor
Legends.
us.
Send me an email.
Coronavirus has taken any possible internship from me. I need money.
He needs money.
Oh, I need a lot of money.
He needs a lot
I
of
made
money.
a mistake.
Hey, would I get half of that money though? Or would we
Uh,
reinvest it back into the production? That's what we do, right?
I
We'd
yeah,
reinvest.
we'd reinvest it.
We'd buy like a studio. We'd have
Mm-hmm.
a studio, and we could go there, and
A
we'd have
ball
like,
pit.
how would there be a ball pit?
I like ball pits. We can record in a
Okay,
ball pit.
we'll get a ball pit.
It'd be a really good bit.
Ball bit.
Ball bit.
The ball.
Ball bearings.
Ball. Is that what the ball pit's for?
Yeah, the ball pit of ball bearings and
Just
nuts.
millions and millions of ball bearings.
Millions of ball bearings.
Yeah. Okay, we can work on
Will
that.
infinitely accelerate through the pit.
Why? Yeah. Well. Once Raid calls us, well, until then, no ball pit, no
No
ball
ball pit.
bearings, no zoo.
No shaving.
Be feral creatures.
Feral indeed.
Feral
Just
indeed. Well, I think it's time to get into. Would you like to start, or do you want me to start?
I think I started last time we did a bit,
Oh,
so
that's true. You're the
I
first
gotta
pick.
put you in your place.
Okay. So, let's just get into it. So, I think, well, I'll introduce. My first society, my perfect world, is simply put, it's my glutopia. My
And if
glutopia,
I'm
Josh.
I'm hearing this right, Glutopia,
Glue, as in like sticky glue, Elmer's glue,
Elmer's,
adhesive,
viscous,
very.
very
So,
viscous.
in my glutopia, all crime, no matter how small, is punishable by being sent to the glue factory.
That's very
Okay?
draconian of you.
A little bit. A little bit.
A little bit.
So initially I thought, okay, let's just kill the people committing the crimes and, just dump the bodies somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get those
Mm-hmm.
people in line. But in the spirit, it's 2020. We want to reduce waste, right? We want to be eco-friendly. So I thought,
Because
okay,
you are an eco teen.
I'm an eco-teen for life, right?
Eco teen for
Until
life.
I'm
Okay.
20, and then I'll be an eco-adult. But at heart,
Mm-hmm.
eco-teen for sure. So in the spirit of reducing waste, I decided that we should do something efficient and productive with the bodies. So what do we do with the bodies, Yash? I'm sure you know of Soylent Green.
Is that the one you eat?
That's when they make Soylent Green into people into this like protein shake, that all the gym bros do. It's
I'm not quite
old,
sure about that one.
it's like an old movie, and basically the plot is, it's the future, overpopulation, and everyone's drinking Soylent Green, but it turns out Soylent Green is people.
So it's like the twist in Snowpiercer where like the cubes they're eating are actually cockroaches.
It's kind of like
Except not
that,
at
but,
all.
but better and not different.
Okay.
We could go. I was gonna say we can go full Ed Gein, but no one's gonna buy suitcases made out of people's skin, right?
Uh-huh.
How you gonna export that? What's the value prop there? It's hard to sell. So therefore, my final option was glue.
Glue, you say.
And glue, as we know, is made from, or traditionally, it's made from collagen, which is like a connective tissue or something. I never studied body parts. Like I couldn't tell you
Did you mean
anything.
biology?
Bones. I don't know the names of any bones.
Uh-huh.
And animals apparently have collagen, and
Mm-hmm.
people are animals, and we got lots of collagen to spare.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you
Lots of
with
collagen.
Are you
I
with me so
am
far?
absolutely with you on
Yeah.
this glue idea.
Okay.
So
So
what I'm getting, you're reducing waste and you're bringing
reducing
purpose
waste.
back to their lives.
I'm bringing. It's about the. Let's be real. It's about the economy.
Yeah, because one of my thing is like that's a lot of glue we'd be making, and
Yeah,
there'd be a glue surplus. So what would we do with it?
we're gonna export the glue. We're gonna be the world's best glue producers. Our glue producers.
Gluducers. Okay.
Producers.
So what you're saying is you're gonna become a glue producing superpower,
Yeah.
and
Well, we
this
don't
is
have to.
for the government of Canada.
Well, whatever country, small is better, right? Because we can
Small is
control the
better.
population better. Small
So
border.
like Duterte, except instead of shooting the drug dealers, you turn them into glue.
Yeah, yeah. An island nation would work great.
Okay. Uh huh.
But then again, like any society, which in people live, there are problems, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I thought I brainstormed a little bit, and I thought, okay, what are the main problems facing my glutopia, right? My glue society, right?
Mm-hmm.
First problem, why won't people just leave the country, right? If you were faced with this regime, wouldn't you just leave?
I wouldn't call it a regime. That's very, very harsh words for this
It's just
sort of
it's
system. The
well,
society.
it's you know, it's like a brave glue
Glugine.
world.
You say brand glue world.
It's a brave glue world.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
continue.
So, first problem, why won't people just leave the country? And I said, of course, we'll just turn them into glue if they try to leave. Pretty
Oh,
simple, right? We'll glue
yeah. Okay, I get that. I get
them.
that.
Maybe around the border we'll have lots of glue, and so they can't step out
Mm-hmm.
because it's
So
too
a
safe.
glue moat. A glue moat.
A big glue moat.
Are you gonna have glue trebuchets and catapults to glue those who
Oh,
make it across?
maybe.
What if they make a human bridge?
We'll glue them.
We'll glue them
We'll glue them.
as a message to all those who try and attempt the same sort of
Message.
escape.
Okay. Second, why won't our people uh, in our glutopia just revolt, right? And so I thought of a couple ways to mitigate this risk that might face us, right? So first, a glue-based religion to win the hearts and minds of our people, right? Because there's
Your
nothing better.
glue-based religion.
Yeah, I didn't get too much into it because I thought, once
What's
we're
your
in the
glue
thick,
deity? What's the glue deity?
well, maybe it's like a glue stick or like a bottle of glue or like an amalgamous, ever-changing glue creature, maybe.
So it's gonna be like glue Thulu.
Mm.
Why a
Glue
religion?
Thulu.
Why not a cult? Because I feel like that's a lot more control over
Well,
the
because it's
adherents.
like state sponsored and it's organized, which makes it more religious and cult like.
Can we
Um,
make glue aid?
Glue Aid. Oh,
Why
like
don't why
Kool
don't
Aid.
you try and like develop like consumable glue?
Gloomables?
Conscumables.
Consglumables, yeah. Well, we could look into that, yeah. And then, so my
Okay.
second risk mitigation for revolt, we'll just glue them.
Just
Just
glue
turn them
them.
into glue. Just turn them into glue if they try and revolt. Um,
Okay,
my
and
third problem, biggest concern, right? What if people stop committing crime and we have no one to turn into glue? You know?
mm-hmm. That's
Well,
very legitimate concern.
here's what I'm saying. Glue lottery.
The glue lottery. So like
Yeah,
Hunger Games but with glue.
you get drafted, right? So
The draft.
so I'm a finance student. I'm a business student, right? And the first thing they tell you, economics 101, the economy is more important than people's lives. That's the
Uh-huh.
first thing they tell you when you
The
walk in the
first
door.
thing.
First day in business class, yeah.
The
And
economy matters more.
so in the same
The
way,
glue economy.
our gluconomy, yeah.
Okay.
So in the same way that the U.S. drafted teenagers into Vietnam, we'll just draft out the citizens in the name of glue, in the greater good, the greater glue, if you would.
And so a question.
Question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Open scene.
Okay.
I am a father of three very glue loving children
Glue, hardworking children. Okay.
in my glue family with my glue wife.
Okay.
This kind of sounds like that one I'm Blue song, but
I'm glue.
I'm glued. Okay. I'm back on track. So
Back
I
on
have
track.
my
Okay.
children,
Yeah.
and thankfully for me, my eldest child, my the trophy winner child, ends out getting drafted for
Uh-oh.
glue,
Okay.
and they get turned into glue,
Sure.
and I am both saddened and excited at the same time that
That your
my
son has
child
the
has been given
opportunity
a,
to be glue.
yeah, to serve the our great nation.
And that's what we
But I'm
want,
also saddened
honestly.
because my child's going away. Now,
Okay.
can I get a glumento? Like a memento? Can I get some of the glue that my child is made into?
Oh, for sure. Well, here's the thing. I mean, no, because in terms of efficiency, it'd be one big pot of glue. But I think,
Okay.
since we just want the collagen, there's lots of leftover parts, right? So if you want a
Uh-huh.
bone or like something like that, I think that could be arranged.
Okay.
I think that's definitely in the books.
Possible.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So that
And can
about
you
sums up.
volunteer for
Oh,
this?
I mean, the more the merrier, Yash. Like if you want to volunteer to be glue, we're not gonna say no. That's for sure.
And now, I'm not going to say I'd ever do this, but the
Okay,
first thing you're talking about is if people can't, there's no criminals to be turned into glue,
right.
and there's no one to be turned into glue. Would you, I would never do this, but would you take certain members of society which aren't as glue functional and turn them into glue?
Oh, you're talking about glugenics.
I am, in fact, referring to the glugenic
Yeah,
system.
glugenics is definitely in the books.
Now, for our
Here,
now
I'll
hopefully
stop
very
you right
curious
there.
listeners,
If you can fit in the word glue into something, we'll do it. We'll glue it.
Glenus.
What?
What? Glugenics. Sorry.
Glugenics.
Explain your glugenics to me.
Well,
Who
glugenics.
is a glue? How do you determine those who are going to be glugenicized?
Well, if they can't be, I mean, everyone can be turned to glue. We know that, right? Because we all got the collagen working. Got that
Hmm.
collagen, that good stuff.
And this is determined by the glucinists who went to Glue University.
Glue University, yeah,
Glue University.
yeah.
Western
So
Glue University.
Glue University of Western Ontario, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So if you can't contribute to the glue economy, and as I mentioned earlier, obviously the economy is the most important thing in the world ever
Hmm.
for all time.
For all time. Time Glue Memorial.
Time Glue Memorial. Yeah. You know, maybe you go missing one night.
Okay.
Maybe you don't make your way home one night.
And
It's whatever.
you're
It's
gonna have the
within reason.
Glustapo.
Yeah. Well, we might have the Gestapo.
The glitz. I'm not gonna finish that, but the Glustapo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Interesting.
we're kind of like a Soviet Union in a way, if you think
The
about it that way.
Soviet Union.
Yeah, kind of like. Well, I mean, we're not the Soviet Union, but we're a Glutopia. Remember the October Revolution,
Hmm.
1917. We're gonna have
No.
we're gonna have a revolution.
Revolution. Okay.
There's only one way
So
this
a
society,
violent revolution.
or very violent revolution.
Now, when revolutions happen, obviously one thing that's very important is to suppress your opponents.
Sure.
So by doing this, are you going to take the glued remains of political opponents and then put the glue on the streets
Well, that's
as
wasteful.
a reminder?
We'll probably use the glue to put up posters.
Put up posters. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gluesters.
Like any party that's not us will be banned, right?
Yes.
We might
Okay.
maintain the idea of free and fair elections, but we won't, like, obviously, we'll have the calm gloonist party, um,
Hmm.
and they'll just be a sideshow to the actual Glootopia party.
And much like the Communist Party in the Cold War, and how the Russian communists had a system of bringing forth an international workers' revolution. We'll have our God. I don't know why I can't remember the name. I studied it like a month ago before
Hmm,
the quarantine. But we're making society to help other similar like-minded uh,
that's possible. But I think
glukers.
we gotta focus on our strengths.
Hmm.
We gotta be based on just basic economics, right?
So we're not going to be
Basic
imperial.
Ricardian
We're not
economics.
going to go for colonies,
No, no,
colonies.
no. Unless we need more people.
Okay.
No, we're not going to go for a system of world control because we're going to focus on our Ricardian strengths. Comparative advantage. It's economics. It's all it is, right?
Hmm.
So we don't. I mean, little Adam Smith in there. Comparative advantage, absolute advantage will be the absolute advantage in glue, and we can import some fine wines from France and send them our glue, right?
Okay.
Free trade makes the world a better place.
Okay. So we know that like the American dollar is a floating currency now, and it's used as a
Absolutely.
standard. So we're going to make glue the new standard,
Um,
the
well,
international monetary
it's more
standard.
of a commodity than anything else. So
Okay. So not a
how
currency; it's a
how
commodity.
gold is a commodity, right?
Hmm.
Sort of more fixed asset. That's what we're going for, right?
Okay.
But it's difficult because glue, is a producible substance. So there's not a fixed amount of glue in the world.
Hmm.
Um, but
So we're not going for the glue standard.
no, it'll be like coffee
Okay.
or iron, right? It's kind of like a commodity, right?
Bananas.
Bananas, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
And now I just have one final question, which has been burning in my mind for the past, like, maybe 10, 15 minutes. We've been
I
talking
was
about
gonna
glue.
say shoot, but how about you glue?
What?
I was gonna say shoot, but how about you just glute?
Okay, I'll glue it away. Um, Now, we've talked about glue in general, that glue
Sure.
is the end goal of the society,
Yeah.
and we want to turn people into glue and
Yeah.
sell that glue.
Sell that
Now,
glue.
sorry, I was lubricating my throat. Lubricating.
Lubricating. Absolutely.
And I'm just concerned as to what type of glue will you be prioritizing turning people into? Because we've talked about Elmer's glue, but we haven't talked about glue sticks. We haven't talked about physical
I
glue.
think
And I'm just, what type of glue does your society prioritize the most?
I think
Because glue sticks dry
anything
out.
I think anything and everything, right? Our
Anything and
goal.
everything.
I'm not an expert at glue. I didn't go to glue university, so
So
I
you're
couldn't.
leaving us up the glue artisans. Glue
We'll leave it up.
artisans.
We'll leave it up to the glue artisans, the glartisans, if you would. Yeah, that's
So
right.
the private sector. You're leaving this with the private sector.
Economics again. It all ties
Okay.
back. I think really this is like we've really cracked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Okay.
think about all the spin-off sectors, the people who make the glue bottles, right? The people who make the glue machines, right? The people who take the people away in the middle of the night. There's lots of economic
Glustapo.
the glue stoppo. There's lots of spin-off effects of this economy, and, some trickle down gluenomics, right?
So theoretically, we can have a 0% unemployment rate.
Well, if they're unemployed, I mean,
They're glue,
we're
so
back to glugenics, right?
yeah,
So I think
glugenics.
this. I
I
mean,
have you on record saying that you support glugenics.
well, I don't support eugenics. I support glugenics. There's a big difference.
Okay, noted. Duly noted.
Duly noted. Okay. Well, I think that about wraps up. If you
Well,
have any more.
we're gonna call
Oh,
a
okay.
fan. We're
For
calling
sure.
a fan and ask them about glugenics.
Let's ask them about glugenics.
Okay, so since unfortunately the chance to participate in this wonderful podcast was taken from her last time,
Ripped from her hands, in a way.
Abbe or Abigail will be now called, and her opinions on glugenics and glutopia will be considered as a student of political science and economics.
Yes, yes. I think she'll agree with me from the economic
Okay,
standpoint.
all right. Can you hear this fun?
I hear it great. Great. You got to do the questions now, okay?
Oh yeah, shit. Maybe you should call her because you're the expert of
No, it's all
glugenics.
good. You just asked her about eugenics. Briefly explain it, maybe.
Okay. I would hate for her not to pick up again.
I would hate that so much. I'd resent it.
We did.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Abigail. You are live on the Mostly Mediocre podcast.
Live, okay.
Okay. So, for today's episode, we're talking about our perfect world and societies. And you're our guest for our first segment where we're talking about glutopia and glugenics.
Oh my god.
So, great.
Eugenics? Are you serious?
Well, no, glugenics.
Oh,
So,
I thought you said eugenics.
Big difference.
no, there's a big difference between eugenics and glugenics.
There's a big difference.
So good friend Henry, this is his idea of a perfect world where he wants to bring forth a glutopia where all criminals, it's sort of like a neo-draconian society where all criminals are turned into glue so that they can serve a function to society, and then the state then sells that glue or trades it as a commodity, and in an effect, boosts the gluconomy and
The economy.
the gluconomy. And Henry here has been very adamant that it's all based on pure economic principles. And as someone who studies economics, we thought you'd be the best person to call. And since you're pretty political science savvy, I was going to talk about how his idea of glugenics, where in the event that we run out of criminals, no crimes are being committed, Henry and the glutopia will
the
then
unemployed, maybe. Part of that.
they'll first go for the unemployed, those who are serving no purpose to the
And
economy,
the unemployable.
and he would like to make this very clear, the unemployable. He will have the Gestapo take them, including any political opponents, the unemployed, the unemployable, and then turn them into glue. Now,
Okay, let's get
thoughts.
the verdict.
Get the verdict. Would you be behind a glutopia
in?
based on a glue economy? Are you in?
No.
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 Sounds like something Henry would come up with.
Okay.
That's unfortunate.
He said that's very unfortunate. Now, we're gonna ask you why. Why do you not believe that this glutopia is your ideal society? And maybe you could provide some sort of like feedback as to how the glutopia can be further improved.
Oh my god. Okay. Why? Just why? Why glue? Why? I don't understand.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, she can't hear me, but I'll answer the
Y'all
question.
should help me out on this one.
Okay, he's
Basically-
answering for the people.
Here, we'll give it a little
Okay.
rundown. So, you can't just kill people and put their bodies in a big grave, because that's wasteful.
Okay, so now what he said to the people is that you can't just kill people and put their bodies in graves, because that's wasteful. And his entire basis of glue is based on basic biology. As you know, glue can be made from collagen and parts of the bone. So what he's doing is, in fact, reducing waste in society to a minimum and repurposing the bodies.
Like, what is the rest of the bodies?
That's important.
Glue comes from something.
He said it's unimportant, and in the glue universities and the glue searchers, they'd be finding new and novel ways to produce glue.
Oh, okay. Is there that high a demand of glue?
Let's not get into the demand of glue. It's not important.
He said it's not important.
Up because I don't think I can take any more criticism.
It is important if you're turning everyone into glue.
Now, wrap this up.
He's saying he wants to wrap it up.
We're gonna wrap this up. Thanks so much.
In the event this happens, I would like to warn you: you might be turned into glue because you've angered Glutopia, because there are glue gods. There are
Mhm.
glue gods that are being worshipped, and
The old
you've
gods,
sort
the
of
blue
angered
gods.
the
Mhm.
apostles. So
That's
sorry.
that's fair. It's okay. It happens.
It happens.
All
Okay.
right.
Well, it was great having you on the show.
Thank you so much
Thanks
for
for
having me on
calling.
the show.
Thank you, our greatest fan, Abigail. Not saying your last name.
Prudent.
What?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Bye bye.
Abigail, everyone.
So it seems our greatest fan didn't watch our previous episode 1 of the Mostly Mediocre podcast.
It was her birthday present.
Disappointing, really.
I
Hurtful.
am very, very saddened.
I think we should never, we shouldn't associate with her anymore.
Definitely not at all.
Definitely not. And you know what? She probably won't even see this part, so... Oh.
Whoa.
All right, Yash. Let's get into your perfect world.
Okay. So, my perfect world. Okay. So, before we go into this, I have to preface this with a few theories.
Okay.
So, ever increasingly in today's society, we're seeing the effects of gamification.
Sure.
Gamification.
Yeah.
Where everyday things, like, for example, like your calendar or like jobs are returned to games with like rewards and just like,
Like you do a job and you get money.
yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Yeah,
So now I was thinking, what is the base of a game? And I went back to some say the first and most popular games, JRPGs,
JRPGs were the first games, yes.
tabletop games like
Tabletop.
D&D, where you'd roll dice to gain stats,
Is D&D
right?
a JRPG?
Yes, Gary Gygax is a weeb. Prove me wrong.
I agree. I mean, I don't even know who that is, but I mean, if he's making D&D, I can't see how he wouldn't be a weeb, as you said.
What I was saying is there's a level of gamification. It brings pleasure
Sure.
to the
Love
human
pleasure.
person.
Love pleasure.
And now I was thinking, before I had thought of a neo-draconian super society, but this was then sort of absorbed to create Henry's ideal glutopia.
The
So I was
Glutopia is
thinking,
obviously
I
pretty
have to
fun,
be, I have to think outside the box. What is something that
Okay.
no one has ever thought of?
Oh, so you're going
I'm
like
sitting here.
like a true new society.
Yeah, a true new
Oh
society.
my goodness. I'm so
And
excited to hear it.
I was sitting in Law 2101 Introduction to Law last semester, maybe
Yeah.
around October, November,
October, November.
and we were learning about the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
Mhm.
Everyone knows the CCRF, adopted in
By heart.
it'd
1982,
be
of course.
1982, and it gives rights. And if we go to basic political science, some of the most important things in a society are rights.
You gotta have them. Like, what will you do without the right?
The individual gives up his rights in a Hobbesian society. He gives up his rights to the Leviathan, which in return protects them.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I love
There's a
giving
social contract
my
between the
rights up.
individual and the state.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And I was thinking, we need to make things efficient.
Okay.
I'm not saying that we have too many rights, and I'm not saying we don't have enough rights. But what I'm saying is that there's also one other law in this world, and that's statistics.
The law
Random
of large
chance.
numbers. Sure.
And once again, this is where it ties into gamification. One thing that's become ever popular in today's society is gotcha games.
Gotcha. I do love a good
So-
gotcha game. Yeah.
Do you know a gotcha game, or would you like me to explain what a
Let's give
gotcha
a
game is?
rundown for our 50 listeners.
Yes. So a gotcha game is traditionally it became popularized in Japan and then came to the Western market as a form of microtransaction. But it's where you pay money and then you have a chance to get something good.
Oh, gambling.
So it's basically like gambling.
Oh, you're just talking about gambling. Okay. Yeah, I love
So
gambling.
it's like a form of gambling. And
I love
even
that.
though gambling is one of the 7 deadly sins,
It's
it's
not.
not. Greed
Could
is
be.
one of the 7 deadly sins,
It's the
but
eighth deadly sin.
it's the 8th deadly sin, gambling.
Eighth
CS:GO
deadly
Lotto.
sin. CS:GO Lotto. I think that's a sin in itself.
So this is where I came, and I'm sitting in Law 2101, fourth
You
row
had an
from the
epiphany.
front on the right side of the room in Natural Science 101 at Western University, and I get a heavenly epiphany
Of course.
comes down, a ray of light comes through the roof, which is completely covered,
Yeah.
but just imagine there's a ray of light, and it strikes my head, and I'm filled with heavenly and otherworldly
Third
knowledge.
eye is opened.
And what I
You
think of
see what
is
needs to be done.
the uh the random rights-based society, which I will go into, but there's also a subcategory of the rights-based economy.
Oh, I was actually that if we have time for it, that was going to be my next one, the market-based rights economy. But let's talk about. I want to hear more about this gotcha random rights economy because I think this sounds like a, first thoughts. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. So
You're
let's hear
liking it.
about it.
It has solid basis in science, nature, and law.
Yeah.
If we had time to look into it, it'd probably be in astrology too.
Like think about it, everything, a lot of stuff, everything, lots of stuff is random, right?
Yeah.
What time you wake up, it's
You could have
random.
not been born if one other sperm cell was faster than you.
That's right. But I'm the fastest.
You're the fastest.
Yeah,
You're the fastest mistake.
that's right. Known to
So
man.
so let's get into this. So at its base, here's what happens. We're going to D&D. D&D, they have a 20-sided die. It's a dice from 1 to 20. CCRF has a lot of rights. But the thing is, do you really need all of them? Here's the thing. To
How
enforce
many
all these
how many rights
rights,
have I used? Like I've only voted like once, and it didn't even matter. So like I could have given that right up for a bit.
and here's the thing. I'm not saying that we should take away rights. I'm just saying that
We should just
factually
not give
speaking,
them.
the enforcement of rights is expensive to the government. Henry, as an
Sure.
economist,
You know,
a member, an Ivy AEO who's going to Ivy next year, tell me, do rights and the enforcement of rights cost money to the government?
oh, it's got to. That's the whole. That's what like two branches of government are doing, right?
You get hit by a car,
Hit by a car. You
you
got
have
the
right
right.
to health care.
Yeah.
They
Like
have to pay. We have in Canada, we have free healthcare paid through our taxes.
oh,
Um,
tell me about it.
the society spends that money to make sure you're good. You get
Voting
shot in the
booth.
street. You get shot in the street. Their society, your taxes are paying towards police
Yeah.
officers
You
who
know,
then catch the criminal. And let's be
you're just
honest,
alive. You got the right to what? Go to school. Oh,
education,
that's
free
expensive.
speech,
That's expensive. Free speech. Someone's got
it's
to
a
protect
joke.
you. A right to a lawyer. A fair trial. Come on.
And here's the
Who
thing.
are paying for all this? That's my question.
As every person who plays video games knows, some of the best fun is not in creating a role-playing character. It's about min-maxing your stats and creating the perfect character you can. And that is why, at birth, in this new society, your parents roll a 20-sided die.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a government inspector. He comes when you're born. Your parent, your mother, your father, they take the dice, they roll it, no only one shot, and whatever number you get from 1 to 20 is how many rights you get.
Okay, I like that.
And at this point in time, since you are in fact a baby, you cannot
So the most
think for
rights
yourself.
a person can have is 20, and they'll always have at least one right.
At least one right.
That's great. You don't want someone walking around with no rights. And
Uh-huh.
then, how are which rights decided? Like, if you
Now
only had
these
one
rights are
right,
society are they're decided by your parents. So
okay.
your parents have
Are there
they
more than
choose the
20
rights
rights
for
in
you.
total?
There are a lot more than 20 rights, but we're talking about decreasing strain on the government and economics.
It's crazy that these societies that are arguably better than what we're living in today, always come back to the economy, which is, of course, the most important thing ever, and it's more important than anyone's life.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the
So
single ant is unimportant, but the colony, that's what matters.
the colony is what matters. So your parents, they every single like parent at the hospital, they're given a copy of the Canadian Charter of Rights
Yeah,
and
they
Freedoms.
list it out.
They list it out. They see the rights, and they get a period of 4 hours or 2 to 4 hours. I haven't really worked that out yet. After your birth to decide, because they should have decided already.
I should have known, like your name.
No, in fact, they only get 5 minutes to say which rights you have.
Yeah,
They
they
should have
should.
decided before. We're
Yeah,
all about efficiency. We're not giving extra
you had a
time
whole 9 months to decide, people.
to decide what rights your child has.
Yeah.
So, your child, you choose your rights. Okay, you get your rights, and your parents choose which rights you have. And from your childhood, from when you're 0 years old to
First
when
day of
you're
the womb.
your 18th birthday, you live with those rights. However many rights you got 18. You have 18 rights that your parents chose for you to have.
Oh, so you wouldn't pick the right to vote because if you're under 18, maybe in this society, you're not voting anyways.
Yeah, it's all about min-maxing.
Min-maxing. Okay, that's smart. That's smart. Yeah.
Min-maxing your rights.
So,
Like, it's a political science theory. Minimax.
I got a little question
The
for you.
least amount of
Well,
work for the maximum payoff
Sure.
and the maximum, like, output.
It's like when I play Cookie Clicker.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You want to put in the right upgrades.
I want to make sure I'm picking the right ones. Okay, so I got a
You're
question
picking the
for
right
you.
one.
What if
Yeah.
what if you don't have any parents at that point in time?
Well, biologically, you have someone who
Well,
gives birth to you.
I understand that, but what if they pass away during the birthing process?
Well, if they pass away during the birthing process, the doctor takes this forth. The doctor who brings you out of the womb is then
Okay.
responsible for
What if
you.
there's no
They
doctor?
brought you into this world, and they must choose their rights for you.
Okay, fair. What if there's no doctor?
Well, the first person to find the baby.
Are you required to report all births to the government here?
Yes,
Okay.
we would have our own form of enforcement
Some
and
kind of bureau.
surveillance. Here's the thing. We're going to have a system of cameras. We have an entire department.
Oh,
The just sole goal is to make sure that people are only using the rights that they have. People aren't
sure.
abusing rights. They don't have the rights that they don't deserve, all that sort of stuff. We are maintaining strong surveillance on this fact to make
Sure.
sure that rights aren't being
Okay,
used
yeah.
and money is not being wasted by Neanderthals who choose to like think that they're better than everyone else.
Now, I agree with all that, but I would hesitate to call people who have less rights Neanderthals.
Well, I'm not saying Neanderthals. I'm saying they'd be less than human if they would go against the societal benefit
So we have a
and put
society
harm to
of
society. You have to stay
subhumans
within
and
your line.
humans. Okay.
It's based on self-regulation, but
Oh,
also not at all because we have our surveillance agency making sure
but
that
maybe it's a self-regulated. It's a private company.
mhm.
Could be.
And obviously, if you're a kid, it might be hard
Might
to
be
know
tough
if you're
on you.
breaking rights or not. So we will have enforcement agents to
Well, that's for your parents.
make
to be
sure you
stopping,
learn.
right?
Well, the parents,
Parents.
but
If you got them.
yeah, and there'd be enforcement agents making sure that you're only using the rights you have, and if you use a right that you don't have, you're then punished by the enforcement agent
Sure.
in the form of lashings.
Oh, lashings.
Yeah, this goes to another society which we don't have time to talk about today. My lash-based society, where everything is based on lashings.
Corporal punishment.
We can talk about that one after if you have time,
Sure.
because
Sure.
we really like that one.
Okay.
But here's the thing, so we can just move on. Hopefully, I have time for another society, the lashing one.
I can rush through. I'll go through mine pretty quickly.
Yeah. So the thing is, when you're 18, you're now an adult. You can think for yourself. You get the choice. If you would choose to re-roll the amount of rights you have,
Okay.
you're given a 20-sided die again, and you can re-roll the amount of rights you have and then re-choose.
Hmm.
So you can get more or less rights.
Yeah, so if you're
right?
sitting at a 1, that's an easy choice. There's nothing to lose.
Yeah.
But
But if
if
you're
you're
an
up at a
18 or a
7,
19,
well, 18,
do you
19,
really want that one more right?
it's like blackjack.
It's like blackjack.
It's just like blackjack. Rights are like blackjack. Hit me,
And
bro.
and here's the thing, you can't the only way you can re-choose your rights is if you re-roll.
Gotta re-roll. Okay, yeah, sure, sure. I hear
Yeah.
that.
So your parents didn't choose right to life, or sorry, no, right to free speech.
Right to free speech. Can't talk.
You can't talk. And say you have 12 rights and the right to free speech isn't one of them, and you want to get the right to free speech,
Swap out.
well, you have to re-roll. You can't swap out.
Oh, okay.
Do you think we're going to do that just for everyone? That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of swapping.
So you only have that chance to re-roll.
Yeah, sure. Okay, well that's
It's all about efficiency. So do you have any questions?
okay. Yeah, I
I
got a
feel
few
like this
questions.
society is very straightforward.
So obviously, most rights are in relation to what the government can and can't do, right? The right to free speech is only like the government can't stop your free speech, not that like another person can't stop you. That's what charter rights are, right? It's between the government and the person, right?
Maybe I was a bit forward in choosing the charter rights
Yeah, well,
because
that's just an
there are
example.
fundamental human rights that are chosen
Yeah, like the
that have
UN,
been
like the UN sort of human
yeah.
rights there.
So actually, that is great. Maybe we should look to be
Yeah,
using the UN Declaration of Human
because that's
Rights.
global, right?
Yeah.
That makes the system easy to adopt, right?
Okay, so I think that's good.
Okay,
We'll amend our society
we'll
to be
swap
using
over.
the
Swap over there.
swap over.
We'll swap over. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Um,
when in MMO when there's an expansion, everyone swaps over to the new server.
Swaps over,
Yeah.
updates, and whatnot.
Mhm.
Sure. Okay. I think
Okay.
I think one little amendment I'd make is that within 5 minutes, I think there should be more of a national office
Mhm.
or centers around the country where you can go with your child and to get their rights there, because before that, what if you're just you have to report them eventually, right?
Uh-huh.
So I think it just makes it a little easier, more efficient, less money. You don't want, I mean,
Well,
you're gonna get a roller in each room. That's a little expensive, yeah. And we're all about the economy here.
but here's the thing. It's like a factory. Like the birthing rooms, there's going to be agents at birthing rooms.
That's a lot of
Like
agents, though. You should have a desk and a line.
okay, fine. Here's the thing. A
Bureaucracy,
desk and a line and why don't we say that if your child isn't born at a hospital, they don't get any rights.
Oh, that's big.
Or we could just say like if you don't bring your child to the center, I'm actually digging your center idea. If you don't bring your child to the center within 24 hours of birth
Sure.
of your birth certificate, they get no rights. Period.
No, that's big.
I think that's good.
There's a good incentive.
Uh huh.
Okay.
A great
Well,
incentive.
I think you've done summed it up good for me.
Uh huh. So should we get our guest now?
We could get another guest, yeah.
Um.
Who you thinking?
Now, I'm thinking maybe Alex or Aiden.
Yeah, one of those.
One of
Did
those.
you notify anyone beforehand?
Not at all.
We gotta get like a production assistant, an intern. We'll get an
We
intern.
should. Yeah.
Intern for us.
We'll get an intern. We'll give a call out. We'll give a
Sure.
call out.
Sure.
Okay.
Drop a line.
Drop a line. Who do we want to call?
Whoever.
Here, we'll call the furry man first. Because alphabetical order. No, A is before. We'll call Aiden. We'll call Aiden.
Sure.
I forgot the alphabet for a second there.
A.
I definitely comes before L.
For sure.
Hello?
Hello, Aiden.
Oh, hello.
You are live on the Mostly Mediocre podcast. You're a special guest.
Hello.
Hello. Say hello to all our 50 viewers. 9 of
Hello,
whom liked our
viewers.
video.
Hello, 50 viewers. I'm an honored guest. Thank you for watching.
So
Thank you
today's
for coming.
Henry, thanks you for coming. So today's episode is we're talking about our ideal societies. Now Henry's already talked about his society, which is the Glutopia, and we're now on mine, which is a rights-based gotcha system society. And I'll give you the quick rundown, and I want you to tell me if this is a good idea, would you support this or not, or if you have any questions, okay? Is that clear? So this society, at birth, your parents or whoever adult guardian there is for you rolls a 20-sided die. And whatever number they get on that 20-sided die is the amount of rights that you have. And then your guardian chooses those rights for you.
Oh, so they get to pick. Okay.
It's the principle of minimax. And you're like minimaxing stats in a JRPG.
It's lovely so far.
Okay.
What right?
Well, before I initially thought of using the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, but Henry brought up a great point that we should use the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That works.
And then at the age of 18, when you're an adult, you get the choice to re-roll your rights. And it's only at this point where you can choose your rights for yourself. You can either get more rights or less rights.
Can I re-pick my rights and not re-roll?
No.
Like if I got so I have to re-roll if I want to pick my own.
Yeah, because the entire basis of this society is that enforcing rights costs a lot of money and it's very burdensome to the economy and to the coffers and treasury of a country, right? You got to enforce healthcare, national safety.
Average out to 10 rights a person.
Now, I have one pertinent question.
Mm-hmm.
If I roll a 20 or a 1, what happens?
If you get a 1, you only have 1 right, and by God, your parents should choose your right well. If you get a 20, you get 20 rights.
Okay, so there's no, like, nat fail or nat 20. Okay.
Yeah, it's loosely based on D&D, but not fully.
Okay, perfect. You didn't want to get, like, copyright.
No copyrights. No. Gary Gygax is a weeb, and he would copyright strike us.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, our entire basis is reducing strain on society. We would ensure to have a department of enforcers that make sure that no one uses rights that they don't have and that the rights are being used appropriately. And as a net whole, this would cost the government less. Now, it's to you now. Do you have any questions? Do you support this society? Are you behind the rights-based gotcha system, random chance society?
I definitely think there's something behind your pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it will.
That's great to hear.
I think it could work. I don't know how the international political stage will see it, but I think internally, I think you can make it work.
Okay, so you're on record saying that you support the rights-based society, random rights.
Random rights.
I think there's a merit to it. I think it needs further development, but I think it could possibly be onto something if you really workshop that.
Okay.
That's great.
That's great. Well, we'd like to thank you for being our guest today. Before, we had called Abigail, as originally this podcast was her birthday, and seeing as yesterday was your birthday, on behalf of all our viewers, we'd also like to wish you a very happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and we look forward to maybe having you as a guest some other time.
Ooh, yeah.
Thank you. It was an honor.
Oh, you heard it there.
So what I'm hearing is
Aiden's
in full support,
yeah.
And in both of our 2 podcast episodes to date, I have 100% win rate.
That's true.
People support my initiatives more than yours.
It's a shame, we're rounding up on our 60 minutes, so I won't be able to get to my second idea, but I think it's got some merit. So maybe in an episode down the line we can get to it.
Yeah. yeah, maybe you could talk about your version of the rights-based economy,
market
and then I could take about
rights
my
economy.
my
The
neo-draconian
neo-draconian
lashing
people
society.
society, of course.
Yeah.
Because those both have, a little round two, per se. We won't do it next
Electric
week.
Boogaloo.
Yeah, we won't do it next week. But, maybe a couple weeks from now, maybe a 1-year anniversary.
So before we actually talk about our teaser for next week's episode, let's just have a big conclusion. And I think the conclusion is that I am vastly superior, both intellectually in producing societies.
Right. Well, our sample size statistically is pretty small, so I wouldn't.
Statistically, 100% of the people support me.
That's mathematically, yeah.
I am the will of the people.
But statistically significant, I would disagree because our sample size is so small. This data set,
well,
it can't be assumed to be normal. So I'm going to discredit you there. But it's nice to believe sometimes, and I applaud you for that. I applaud you for that.
Since mine won,
yes.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna go onto Google.
There you go.
And I am going to roll, and I'm gonna tell you what number you get.
Okay.
And you're gonna choose which rights you would choose for yourself.
Okay.
In this rights-based economy. Okay, so 20-sided dice roller.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Okay.
So 3, 2, 1. You have rolled a 7.
I get 7 rights. Okay, so
you have 7 rights.
I'm looking right now.
Now, are we looking at the Universal Declaration of Human Rights or the Canadian Charter?
The Universal.
Okay, let me pull it out.
So there's about 30 different articles with subsections. So let's look at the first one, and we'll just go there. So all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. So I think we'd have to scrap that one right away, just in our society, because, if we get the right to be equal, the whole society falls apart, right?
Okay. Well, no, then that just means that they're not treated equal.
No.
As in that, like,
this it says, born free and equal in dignity and rights. And if we're all equal in rights, that's not going to apply.
Okay, I see. I see what you're talking about.
That one. So number 2, we're entitled to all rights and freedoms set forth in the Declaration. So gotta scrap that at 1 as well.
So Articles 1 and 2 scrapped.
That's a little speed run tip. Okay. Article 3,
timestamp.
Right to life, liberty, and security of person.
Do you want that right?
I think this one's pretty good. I like that. I like that right.
Okay, so on record, you're choosing the right to life, liberty, and security.
Yeah. So Article 4, now it says, no one shall be held in slavery or servitude. Okay, so get this. I've already got liberty, so I don't need this right.
Well, you could have liberty but still be a slave.
No. You can't. You're not liberal. Not liberalized.
But this says slavery in the slave trade, because if we're talking about slaves still had rights. They had the right to life.
The right to liberty, which I already
have. Well, they had their own inherent liberties as a slave, but they were still a slave.
Well, I think I'll take this one then.
So you're taking the right to life, liberty, security, and the right that you will not be a slave.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Article
you have 5 rights left.
No one shall be subjected to torture or cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. I don't think I need that one.
Yeah, I don't think torture is that pressing of a matter.
I'll skip that one.
I feel like there's a lot more important rights. We'll keep that to the side, though.
Everyone has the right to recognition everywhere as a person before the law. I think I'll take this one.
You'll take this one. The right to being recognized as a human being.
Now we get into Article 7. All are equal before the law. We have to scrap this one also because it's a game-breaking bug in a way. You just can't.
We haven't had the beta testers yet.
We'll do the beta test.
It's like Under the Dome.
The right to an effective remedy by the competent national tribunals for acts violating fundamental rights. I think we gotta scrap that one as well.
No, I think that's one that should be kept.
Okay.
Because if you're taking to court, and if you don't have the right to an effective trial, for example, your opponent wants to bribe a judge, I'd say they can, as long as it's not found out.
Okay, sure. I'll skip it. I'll stay.
You don't want to write. Okay.
I'll stay out of trouble.
Okay. Okay.
Subjected to arbitrary arrest, detention, or exile. I'll skip that one.
Okay. You don't mind being arrested. Okay, good.
Just, detention, hopefully not too long.
Okay.
Let's see. Article 10, full equality to a fair and public hearing by an independent and impartial tribunal. I think that was a good one to have. How many rights do I have left?
I think you have 3 rights left.
3 rights left. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go to the bottom here and see what we got here. Article 30.
Something at the very bottom. Name which article you're reading, and I'll read it alongside you.
Let's see. Let's look at Article 24. I need that one. That one's great.
The right to rest and leisure, including reasonable limitation of working hours and periodic holidays of pay.
I like that one.
You like your liberties.
I need my me time.
Your me time.
My me time.
Okay, you have 2 rights left.
Oh, I need freedom of opinion and expression and thought and stuff. That one's big. I'm a big thinker.
Which one is that?
Which article? 19.
Article 19, freedom of opinion and expression. Okay.
Now
you have 1 right left.
I'm going to pick, voting, schmoting. I'll get over it. Article 17.
Article 17.
Yeah.
Right to own property alone as well as in association with others, and that no one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his property. Okay. You don't want to be tread on.
Don't tread on me. Okay.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
So Henry has chosen the 7 rights allotted to him in this society.
I think that's
all right.
That's a pretty good set. I think I'm set, if I just play my cards right.
Well, that's a little teaser of our society would be like.
Those are our first 2 little societies there.
And now that we're 1 minute, almost 1 hour and almost 2 minutes, we're just going to give a little teaser for the next episode. The next episode is based on True Crime High.
Now, get into, develop that point a little more. What is True Crime High?
So originally this podcast was supposed to be a true crime podcast, and our entire thought was that the market is very overdeveloped.
It's
economy once again.
Right.
Saturated market.
And
I thought that we need a unique twist. So I'm not going to spoil who we're going to talk about because we have a couple ideas. But we're going to take serial killers, criminals, and the like, and we're going to base them we're going to assess their crimes and then place them within the school hierarchy and determine if they were in a stereotypical high school.
Who are they?
Who or what they'd be.
Yeah, what's their social standing? Are they a teacher? Are they a student? What kind of person are they, Where are they eating lunch, right?
Yeah. But as always, as our podcast coming to close, we'd like to thank all our listeners, presently approximately 50, and the 9 people who liked our video.
I did say 50, but that's just recurring views. I think unique views, we've had 2.
2 unique views. They're both me.
Views. It's both. Well, you can't both be you. One is me and one is you.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But
that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay.
We'd like to say if there are any other viewers to like our video, comment, subscribe. Let us know if you have any feedback, and if you'd want to be a guest. We're always open.
Sponsors, if you work for a company.
Raid Shadow Legends. Dollar Shave Club.
I don't know. Honey.
What's that website one?
CS:GO Lotto.
CS:GO Lotto.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Share this with your friends, your family, your enemies.
But not my employer.
Practice social distancing.
That's what we're doing. We're not even in the same room.
No, never.
We're miles apart.
Miles away. Kilometers, because we're in Canada.
Kilometers.
But let's try and sync this goodbye together. What?
Okay, ready. We're going to say goodbye.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Goodbye.